Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Advaitam. What exactly is Advaitam? How can we use it? Can we really benefit from it directly or through knowledge of it? Is it all only at the level of some high esoteric principle of no use in actual life? Or can we bring it to some use in practice? Let us think about these questions and try to find answers. What is the meaning of the word Advaitam? It means one without a second. This not having a second is not our practical experience. We see everything in great numbers. We see everything in thousands, lakhs, and millions. Why should we say that there is no second? What is the use if there is no second? Whatever we are trying to do, that can be achieved only by Advaitam. What are we trying to do? We are all trying hard to get rid of our problems and be happy and comfortable. Is it not so that riddance of problems and discomfort can only be achieved permanently by Advaitam? Poverty, hunger, disease, insult, hurt, disrespect, misunderstanding, fear, threat are the sort of things we are all trying to get rid of and persevering very hard for it. But is there any place on earth where these problems are not there? Is there any city or town or country where people are not faced with man-made or natural calamities? If you overcome one major problem, another one seems just around the corner. Of course, we can never expect to have everlasting peace and happiness by our efforts. It would be foolish to expect such utopian existence. So we continue to persevere. We get some temporary relief and we celebrate. We give medicines for one disease and get cured. Another disease is in the pipeline. This happens at the individual level as well as organizational, corporate, national, and human levels. The permanent solution for all these problems is only Advaitam. By that, we can arrange not to be affected by any of these problems, namely poverty, hunger, disease, and death. Why do we suffer? We suffer because we are subjected to poverty, hunger, insult to self-respect and prestige, and or physical ill treatment. If we do not have these things, we may never know suffering, but they are there. Let us see as to how we are related to all these sufferings. Only till the physical body is there, we have to suffer thirst, hunger, disease, and death. Once this body perishes, another body comes and that suffers from thirst, hunger, disease, and death. This means that till the body is there, the suffering will also be there, and there is scope for others to ill treat. So, if we can do away with the body, we can get rid of suffering too. We have many births. What causes those repeated births and deaths? Why do we get a body? Whatever good and bad we have done in the past lives, we have to undergo and experience the effects of it all. Otherwise, without a body, we cannot experience papam and punyam, meaning the effects of our good and bad deeds. Atma cannot be burned. You cannot apply a thick paste of sandalwood on Atma to cool it. So, to experience the resultant effects of our own karma, the papam and punyam, God gives us the body and makes us think that we are that body. For the sins of the past, God gives us the body as part of the siksha or corrective lesson. If the account does not tally and some negative balance is still pending, at the end of this life, one more body and one more birth. If we do not add to the aggregate of papam, it may work out in this life itself, in which case there may be no more birth and no more body. Every day, the thought that we should not do papam must come to our mind. What is the reason for papam and punyam? We do want to stop it, but not able to. If we want a tree to stop growing, it is not enough to cut the branches. We have to cut it from the root. If the wooden beam in the roof is repeatedly being eaten away by termite, it's not enough to destroy one colony of termites physically, as it will come up with yet another. You have to locate the mother termite and destroy it. Like that, we have to identify the root cause and destroy it. What is the root cause for papam? Papam is the effect of sin. Why do we sin? We have desire for something. We want to attain it by whatever means. We are ready to commit sins for it. The main reason for sin thus is desire. If something is beautiful, we desire to own it. If something is good, we want to have it. To satisfy this desire, we undertake actions. So, the reason for desire is that the senses have identified that thing as desirable to be obtained. The crux of what I have spoken for so long is this. The punishment for all our papam is the body. The root of papam is sin. The reason for sin is desire. If we tackle desire, we can do away with the cause for all our pains and sorrow. How to do away with desires? Upanishads, which are the effulgent peaks and commanding heights of Vedas, show us the way. Love and hate, desire and dislike arises towards the second and third person and not the first person. With ourselves, we have neither love nor hate. We neither approve of ourselves nor are we highly critical. If we make the second and third person into the first person, then there is no place for love or hate, desire or dislike. We passionately desire something now because we think that it is different than us or it belongs to somebody else. If we think of it as ourself or everything as ours, then the problem is solved. There is nothing other than us in the whole world. Everything in some way is ourself only. Once this realization sets in, no more misplaced desires, no more papam, no more need for another birth, another lifetime, another body. No body means no sorrow born of deprivation, hate, greed, and envy. What we could not achieve by our efforts over many lifetimes, namely getting rid of problems and sorrows, is achieved simply by changing our perspective. In realizing or even imagining that there is nobody and nothing other than ourselves, no second, it has become possible to get rid of sorrow permanently. Advaitam affirms that there is no second. If there is a second and if it is more powerful than us, it creates fear. If it is beautiful, it creates attraction and desire. If there is no second, the reactions of fear, desire, and hate are not there. Upanishad says that when there is no second, fear vanishes. Advaitam insists that the second is non-existent. If you think of anything as second, that is something else, you have instantly sown the seeds of fear, says Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Dvitiyatvi bhayam bhavati. There are many millions of humans, life forms, things, and millions of each variety in this world. How to make the second disappear? Vedantam says that all the variety of things we see in this world are all false, really not there. It says that everything is an assumed form of the same, one Parabrahmam or Ishvara. If you explain that, it does not seem so to you. The answer is that either what seems to us must be a lie or Ishvara is imagined. If what seems to us is true, Ishvara is a lie. If our vision is true, then we are real and we should not suffer. But we do suffer. Those great thinkers and philosophers, Swamis and Rishis, who have made Vedanta Anubhava their way of life do not suffer. They are happy all the time. They do not experience any problems, and even when experiencing the difficulties, they are able to keep a cheerful attitude. So I believe that what Vedantam says is correct. If so, that anything and everything is an expression of God should become clear without a doubt. Advaitam says that all that we see in this world, including the world itself, is a lie. They appear to be real. The basis for all this, the background, the backdrop, that foundation on which this whole edifice rests is real. It can be called the Brahman or Atma, says Advaitam. In worldly parlance, we say Ishvara. Brahman has no character qualities, since it is not qualified or conditioned by any adjective. I am not coming to the aspect of Ishvara being Saguna and Brahman being Nirguna in this analysis. If everything is Ishvara, are we something else? No. All the differentiation will have to be dissolved. Then there is no second. Think of what I am talking about, setting aside the concepts of the time and space ingrained into you over the years. We are now seeing everything as so many different things. To see them all as Ishvara is the real vision. Without a second, if we dissolve ourselves, good happens, sorrow vanishes. In the day-to-day affairs too, if two minds join, conflict ceases. Like that, if everything becomes one, Ishvara, there can be no more problems, all peace prevails. Then everything and everybody becomes us. No more desire, lust, anger, and hate. No more papam. No papam means that there is no need for assuming a body to work out the effects of sins. Jnanam just happens. Another body will not come. Nobody means no sorrow. Pure, secondless, singular bliss occurs. No deham means no dukham. Advaitam does away with the second. To see everything as God is Advaitam. To see the truth as it is, as true, is Advaitam. We sleep, wake up from sleep. While asleep, sometimes we dream. The wakeful state is called Jagrat Avastha. Dreaming is called Swapna Avastha. Sleeping deep without a dream is Sushupti Avastha. These are the three such stages. Jagrat is meant for doing all the work. Sushupti is required for resting. When we become tired by doing all that work, these two stages are enough. Why do we need the third stage of dream? What is the Swapna stage meant for? I could not find any usefulness for the Swapna stage other than to make us understand that Ishvara is everywhere as everything. Swapna is an example to prove the point that as the world and characters in the Swapna stage are unreal, so is the world and characters in it unreal. Sometimes the world looks like a dream. In the dream, we experience many difficulties and pleasures. When the dream finishes or abruptly disturbed, the scenery disappears. There is no such world. Even our dream body vanishes. What seems so real when the dream lasts is undoubtedly unreal in the Jagrat stage. The only person who knows about the dream is the one who dreamt. It is his thoughts, which are seen as so many people and things and events. Even the dreamer is not real. He knows that he dreamt. That knowledge or awareness is the only real thing in the entire episode. Similarly, if you wake up from the worldly dream, everything and every event and persons in it will disappear. Only the knowledge or awareness will remain or balance. That is true. That is Advaitam. Thousands see is Dvaitam. Though we believe in Advaitam, we are seeing the dream of Dvaitam. If we wake from this dream, it is Advaitam. At least if the idea of what I have spoken above remains in the mind, maybe one person in hundreds of thousands may make an attempt to fully realize that. The great Advaita philosophers wrote all that in the Advaita Shastras to keep the door open for that one man in lakhs who may make an attempt. It's not enough. If we know that Ganges exists in Kashi, we have to buy the ticket and make the journey and make Ganga Stan as an experience happen. Veda says that the Advaita Anubhava is one from which the mind and speech return without reaching or without comprehension. Yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Aprapya manasa saha. Taittiriya Upanishad. If we cannot think with the mind, then how are we to know? What does the Vedas say? What is the meaning of saying that the truth of Advaita is not comprehensible or understandable by the human mind? If Paramatma can be thought of or knowable by mind, then Paramatma becomes a knowable thing. If we say the Paramatma is knowable, it means that the knower is another entity. This is patently wrong. Knowing Jivatma and knowable Paramatma is not Advaitam but Dvaitam. The knower and known are one in Advaitam. That is why it is said that when someone says that he knows Paramatma, he does not know, and the one who says that he does not know knows. Yasya amatam tasya matam. Matam yasya na vedasa. Kenopanishad. What is the meaning of not known? The knower has to be the subject and the known has to be the object. When the subject and object are one and the same, it cannot know itself. Let me explain with an example. You do not need a light to show the light. Brahma Jnanam is like that. It is self-effulgent. By its light, everything is known. It cannot be known by Jivatma. With its very limited capabilities, Ishvara is knowledge itself. Tevaram, Tiruvasagam and Taimanuvar songs, all at one place or another, refer to the Paramatma as Arivin Urave. Arivin Urave. meaning the form of knowing awareness. The knower, known, and knowledge were, are, and will be one. This cannot know that in Advaitam, because all separateness has dissolved, it cannot be thought of by the mind. Mind is able to think because of it. All that is thought of by the mind is a lie. By whatever the mind is enabled to comprehend is the only thing that is true. Yan manasa na manute ye nahur mano matam Kenopanishad. All that is seen in a dream is a lie. The seeing ability is the only truth. The Atma itself is all the things seen in a dream and also is the balance, residue and reminder. Can you know the dream character and ask for an introduction? You can know something if it is different from yourself and can never know if not different. That is the reason that Advaita Satyam is not within the grasp of the mind and speech. Let us sum up what we have learned today. Truth is one, that one is God, or say Ishvara, that one is seen as many by Maya. We must see them as one, including ourselves, me, mine, myself, and we, us, and ourselves. For that, we should read the Advaita Shastras. The process and methodology includes reading and abiding with the Shruti, Smruti, Purana, visit to temples, visit to holy places, paying obeisance to divinity, doing good to others, caring for the parents, guests, taking good care of aged, poor, uncared for people, and living up to high ideals of morality. We pay for the various things of life. For the Advaita, which gives permanent, everlasting peace and bliss, we can sacrifice anything. When Yagnavalkya gave Upadesha to Janaka, he was so full of gratitude that he gave his entire empire and finally himself to Yagnavalkya. Videhan dadami mam chapi sahadasyaya. Brihad Aranyakam Upanishad. The wooden beams in the roof will continue to be eaten away by the termites despite destroying the termites' sand hills till the mother termite is located and removed. The basic reason for all the karma and krodha and related problems is the idea of separateness, that is Dvaitam. Once that is overcome, the reason for repeated life-death cycle will come to an end. The easiest initial path for Advaita is through devotion, says Appaya Dikshidhar. You may all kindly follow his advice and attain to Advaita Anubhava. Om Shri Mahaperiva Sharanam.